When we begin homeschooling, we don't have in mind that we need to address our needs or that we need to create space or time for ourselves to do the things that we love to do. We don't have in mind that this homeschool thing is going to end, or that our primary mothering role, the full-time mothering role for those 20, 30 years is also going to end, but it is. We take on so many responsibilities as homeschool moms, which are beautiful, and this homeschool lifestyle is so amazing for us and our kids most days. And it's demanding. We put these demands on ourselves, these unrealistic expectations, or just ideas of how we're going to do things for our kids. We need to do all the basics, which get boring, but they're still always there, like dishes and cleaning, all the things. All of the things in our lives pull our focus in to this one thing, being a mother. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm deeply grateful for the experience of being a mother. Yet, we are whoever we are, this person, uniquely me, outside of the mother role. And you are uniquely you outside of the mother role. This might be a great time for me to actually introduce myself to you. If we haven't met, I'm Teresa Wiedrich. I'm the life coach and the homeschool mentor at www.capturingthecharmedlife.com, or you can find me here on YouTube as the homeschool wellness and mindset coach. So who are you? Who are you outside the homeschool mom role? There are so many things that we do. It is such a mom thing to be preoccupied with what's the next thing that the kids need, or what should we create for them this week? What would be fun? What would be interesting? How could we go down the rabbit holes? How could we discover new things together? How could we encourage them to, grow in their aptitudes or fuel their curiosities? And those are all beautiful things. We want the best for our kids. Sometimes we're trying to give them things that we didn't have. Whatever the case, whatever our reasons for doing what we're doing, we're often working overtime. We don't call it overtime, though. We call it motherhood in our culture. When we do this, we unintentionally set our interests, our needs, our gifts, our, all the things aside for the greater good, our family, or so we believe. So we tell ourselves, so we tell each other. We're unintentionally setting aside all these things. For how long? For how long? When I recently asked a homeschool mom who she was, tell me about yourself, she answered the requisite answers. I'm a homeschool mom. I'm a mom. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. The roles in her life. But what and who was she? We had a conversation about developing her personal vision. This is a conversation that I have often in my life coaching realm when I'm engaging other moms in the homeschool realm. And it's a rather important one because we easily lose sight of ourselves. So on today's podcast episode, you can find my podcast on Apple and Spotify. I go into a detailed discussion about these things. The 5 out-of-the-box ways that you can help to recreate or remember your personal vision in your life. If you're curious what I'm speaking to, well, I'll just ask you 5 questions to help clarify what might be getting in your way of creating your own personal vision or intention in your life, and help you to clarify your intentions long term. The first question is, what do your boundaries look like? And what signs or situations trigger your awareness of these boundary challenges? So a discussion on boundaries. Who are you and who are you not? What's the emotional climate going on inside of you? The second question, what are some self-care activities or rituals, maybe you want to call them wellness rituals, that you find actually help to rejuvenate you so that you can continue with energy to do this homeschool life. The third question is, what methods or techniques have you discovered to create a space or safeguard your alone time away from your homeschool family? Tricky one, especially if your kids are young. But even if your kids are young, and this seems inconceivable to you, just know this: they'll grow up. The fourth question is, reflect on your community and the connections that you have. The other people that you walk alongside in your homeschool life, how do they impact how you see yourself and what's important to you, what your vision should be, or how you should spend your time? And the fifth question, are you actively exploring your personal interests? Are you incorporating your interests in your homeschool life, or are you doing things that are just uniquely for you? Are you developing your own curiosities and following your own rabbit trails? Who are you beyond your mother role? So who are you beyond your mother role? I would love to hear what your definition of who you are, if you throw that in the comment section. Recently, like a couple months ago, I brought my daughter, or maybe not even a couple months ago, I brought my daughter, my third daughter, across the country to begin her first year college. So this is our third kiddo that's gone to college, and our youngest went into high school. So he is almost 15 years old, and I can see what this all points to. I am transitioning away from full-time motherhood. And though we all know that eventually it's going to have an end date, we don't really see that that's going to happen at some point because it's so busy and we're so in the thick of things and so much is going on. And some days we're like, great, could that happen? Because I'm tired, or I'm overwhelmed, or I'm stressed. So the thing is, it does. And then you have to figure out, what are you going to do after that? So I say, you don't have to wait until that time when it actually stops. You can actually decide to foster who you are now, or nurture the person you are now while you're living your homeschool life. And so when I've had that conversation with that mom about who she is, what her roles are, yes, these are your roles. This is the busy occupation of your days. But who are you? I would say foster that. Let's get back to who you were when you were 8, maybe, or who were you before you were a mother. Create time in your week to include you. If you're not even sure where to start with this, I encourage you to check out the UBU checklist that I have available in the comment section down below. And if you're not sure where you should go, maybe you want to have a conversation about this, you're welcome to connect with me. I offer life coaching. I offer consultations on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The Calendly link is down below as well. So consider, what are your boundaries looking like? How do you know who you are and where someone else starts and where you end? How do you know who you are in context of all your relationships? That right there will drain a lot of energy from really showing up in your life on purpose. Unhealthy boundaries. The second thing is, what do you actually do for yourself on a routine basis? Those self-care rituals. Are you protecting your alone time? Do you get alone time? Are you building community and connection with people that are encouraging you to be you? And are you incorporating self-discovery time, doing things that are just fun for the sake of fun? If you want to do a deep dive into these concepts, you can also check out the podcast this week, the Homeschool Mama Self-Care Podcast on Apple and Spotify. And it's a pleasure spending time with you. I hope you have a great week.